Update 2. HOA Karen calls 911 after I refused to leave my lakeside cabin. Too bad I own the entire county. I nodded calmly and walked to the cabin, returning with a thick leather folder I'd prepared weeks ago for exactly this moment. Officer Rodriguez, everything you need is here, I said, handing him the documents with a slight smile. Patricia cackled with premature triumph, already tasting victory. Those fake papers won't save you. Everyone, watch justice being served. This is what happens when you mess with the Coleman legacy. Rodriguez opened the folder and began reading. His tired eyes suddenly widened with each page. I watched his face change from routine boredom to genuine shock, his hands beginning to tremble slightly. Patricia didn't notice, still performing for her audience and narrating her imagined victory. What are you waiting for? Arrest him. The people demand justice. Rodriguez looked up from the papers, then at Patricia, then back at the papers as if confirming he was reading them correctly. His voice was shaking slightly when he finally spoke, and I knew the show was about to begin. Mrs. Coleman. You might want to stop streaming. Patricia laughed, drunk on her perceived power. Why? Everyone needs to see justice. This is transparency in action. Rodriguez held up one of the documents, and I could see his hands trembling as the implications hit him. Wait. These papers say. What about Patricia's house? Can you guess what Patricia doesn't know about her own home? Comment below. Rodriguez cleared his throat nervously and read aloud from the documents, his voice carrying clearly in the morning air that had suddenly grown heavy with tension. This cabin is deeded to Marcus Hayes, established as an independent property in 1952, predating all HOA jurisdiction by 40 years. He paused, looking at the next page with growing amazement, his eyes widening as he processed what he was reading. The name seemed to trigger something in his memory, and I saw recognition dawn on his face like the sun breaking through storm clouds. Patricia snatched the papers from his hands before he could finish, her perfectly manicured nails almost tearing the aged documents in her haste. Let me see these forgeries, she shouted, holding them up to her phone camera for her audience to examine. Look, everyone. Obviously fake. You can tell by the. But even as she spoke, I could see the doubt creeping into her eyes like fog rolling in from the lake. The official seals, the aged paper yellowed with time, the multiple notarizations from decades past, everything about these documents screamed authenticity. Her viewers were already starting to question things in the comments, the tide of public opinion beginning to turn against her. Those look pretty real, Patricia. Maybe you should check with a lawyer first. Why does it say North Star Holdings? My dad works for them, they own half the town. The viewer count was starting to drop, down from 67,000 to 58,000 in just minutes. I decided it was time to make things a bit more personal. Officer Rodriguez, your father, Miguel, worked security for us 1985 to 1995, I said. Good man, always punctual, always professional. We paid for his cancer treatment when the insurance company called it experimental and refused coverage. Rodriguez's professional composure cracked completely. You knew my dad? He never told me who paid for those treatments. We always wondered. His voice trailed off as the implications hit him. He was a good man, I continued. North Star Holdings takes care of our people, always have, always will. Patricia's face was turning an interesting shade of purple. Conspiracy. They're working together. This is deep state stuff. She spun toward her remaining viewers, desperation creeping into her voice. Don't you see? They're trying to steal our community.